Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. This side Rahul Magan here as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP. This time, I would like to take you to the different perspective where we are entering into. Although I'm not a cost accountant, I'm neither a chartered accountant, not a company secretary, not a cost accountant, but I am an empaneled faculty in all three institutions. Over the period, I have been teaching cost audits to a lot of people, right? And especially, I am also a ACCM panel faculty whereby I am teaching F5. Of course, teaching a lot of topic which is teaching a lot of topics which cover skills and professional level, and one of the skills is F5. But I saw a different thing. How the cost audits are getting performed in India. This is something which is very which is not a very technical, not a professional way of doing it. I saw that people are using orthodox technique like absorption based costing, like activity based costing, like target profit costing, like replacement method. There are relevance costing, and there are a lot of methods which we have, which we are using to do the cost audit. Over the period, I found out that a very good stuff in the cost audit, which is linear programming, is getting missed. I'm not sure why across India the linear programming is not getting its importance, because linear programming is something which can make things very better. Take an example. You are Flipkart and you have several warehouses across India, because now you are moving from marketplace model to inventory based model as proposed by Government of India, like Amazon is also here. All these warehouses needs to be managed in such a way that inventory should be as limited as possible and profitability should be as high as possible. How would you do? If you would be doing this so-called obsolete method of absorption costing and activity-based costing, then I don't think this is going to make sense for a longer tenure. Because in a longer tenure, the only thing that is going to make sense that if you are able to do it using a quantified way. And how you can quantify that? You can quantify that once you would be able to substantiate it. And in my personal opinion, although we have the orthodox method like activity based costing and so on and so forth, in my personal opinion, the only way to do substantiation is using a linear programming. Although in this video we are not here discussing that what are the techniques you have in the linear programming which you can use, but in my personal opinion, there are variety of ways we have in the linear programming which could help us to do the cost audit. But unfortunately we are not doing that, to be very honest. The reason is very simple. The reason is that we are not doing only because we don't want to understand about the cost audit, neither at a regulatory level people wanted to make us understand. So what Treasury Consulting LLP is doing in that regards, we are taking it as a blessings in disguise. We wanted to set up a unit in our company which would take care of the linear programming, and believe me, we are very serious about it. That we mean it. We are not joking. As simple as that. So what are we doing? That we are setting up an entity which is cost audit. In this cost audit, we are going to take or help the management accountants, could be the company secretaries, not company secretary exactly, because their more or less domain is basically corporate act, which is Companies Act 2013. Our predominant is that we wanted to set up a base whereby we will help these cost accountants and chartered accountants to basically do using linear programming. So take an example. Suppose tomorrow you will get an audit from Flipkart, and those Flipkart would have 60 warehouses across India. Different parts could be in Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Madras, and Calcutta, Chennai, and different parts, right? And they would like to synchronize them in such a way that the cost would be minimal and the profit should be high. How would you do that? The only way of doing is the linear programming. So we are creating that kind of skill set in that, and hopefully if the time would permit us, as you know that we are a little occupied or a little busy in creation of our own fixed income terminal, but yes, if time would permit us, we would surely be implementing another platform. Currently it could be Excel based platform, but yes, we would surely be implementing a linear programming based cost audit. In case if you wanted to have any help from us in LP, which is linear programming, you are welcome to consult us. And believe me, I'll assure you that by December, whether we would be busy or whether we would be highly busy or it would be extremely tight situation, but we'll assure you that by December 2017 we would have an extreme setup which would be visible on our website, which would talk about linear programming. And we as a company, I myself as a proprietor and the CEO of the company, understand that linear programming is making things very beautiful. And I think we should go ahead with that. We should go ahead with the linear programming. Hopefully, although we are working on that, it certainly qualifies some time. We would surely be planning to add a course on the cost audit, which would be covered using these traditional disciplinary methods, which is absorption costing, activity based costing, relevant cost analysis, target profit and all. But it would also be covering using linear programming also, and variety of the methods of the linear programming. And again, before winding up this video, I would like to summarize you that we are very serious in implementing linear programming in India and outside India. And very soon you would be able to see that in our website. With this, we would like to thank you very much and have a wonderful time ahead. In case you have any requirement, you can come to us. Time to time basis, we keep sharing webinars and we keep sharing lectures on Institute of Cost Accountant of India. You're most welcome to join the same. And now we are coming up with the webinar calendar also. Hopefully by 1st April we would have the webinar calendar on the website. Have a wonderful time ahead.